Yes. So, Michael at times can be hard to figure out. You know what else is hard to figure out? A Rubik's Cube. Not my best segue, but we'll go with it.
Oh
Whatever.
gosh,
Um,
this is oh gosh.
yeah, this is the thing that's happening, people. Hollywood is that desperate. We are getting a Rubik's Cube movie. Not like the Tetris movie that's coming out that's filming right now with Taron Egerton about the making and creation of Tetris. This is literally a movie about a Rubik's Cube. And the internet is having a field day with this, going, Hollywood is out of ideas. We don't have Man of Steel 2, but we've got a Rubik's Cube movie coming. And here is where I lose all my credibility. I will give this movie a chance because there was a little movie that came out in 2014 that I thought looked terrible based off of some property that I had known since childhood, but I was just like, this is just the most commercial gimmick that you can make. It's just here to sell toys. And little did I know that it would be the best movie that year, hands down. And of course, I'm talking about the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie taught me any movie can work if you have the right story and idea with it. On paper, this looks stupid, but on paper, the Lego Movie sounds stupid too until you see it in action. I have actually some story ideas that I will pitch, but I want to hear Michael's reaction. Sorry, force of habit here. That's like the second time in 2 weeks.
Yes,
Force of habit. I have some
yes.
story ideas that I actually think they might go with that aren't the worst idea in the world. But first, Michael, tell me creativity is dead in the world.
Well, I certainly will affirm that. I thought you were going to say Pixels, not Lego
Ugh.
Movie. Yeah. Can I just say I'm going to reserve all judgment, or actually any more judgment is the accurate way of putting it, until I see some marketing material, because I will, as objectively, I want to be able to see what they're selling. I want to give them their day in court, give them the opportunity to pitch it, and then I will respond exactly how I think I'm going to respond still, but I will leave that to the day of pronouncement, which will be hopefully a long time from now, because I don't want to hear anything more about this, at least for the rest of 2021. Let's make 2021 a redemption in movies, not oh, well, yeah, that's the year that happened. I will say at least a little bit. The Lego Movie had a lot going for it because it had demonstrated, like Lego Star Wars, for example, a lot of Lego video games that were in the mind of people. It's like, yeah, you can make it work. It's just going to be difficult. This there's nothing. Why not make the movie about how they made the thing? Why not do that? I'd be interested in that.
So here's where I don't necessarily hate it too much, and also, we talked about it before. You can't judge a movie until you've properly seen it. There's some movies that just sound stupid on paper, and I think that's actually a future podcast episode that we're probably going to do is pleasant surprise movies or movies on paper that should have sucked but didn't. 2017's Power Rangers. I believe it was 2 years ago. Dora the Explorer, the live action Dora movie, should not have worked nearly as well as it did. I think if given the right story, anything could work. So, here are some story ideas of what I would do if I was locked in a prison wall, prison cage, whatever, a Nicolas Cage, and they're like, you
Come
can't
on.
leave until you pitch us a Rubik's Cube movie that we can sell to investors. I'd be like, okay, it's national treasure, except the MacGuffin is a Rubik's Cube. The Rubik's Cube is a puzzle that once unlocked leads to another puzzle that leads to another puzzle that leads to another puzzle. It's a treasure hunt movie with the key component being a Rubik's Cube. Just my first pitch out there, but my worry is Hollywood will do something along the lines of it's an alien device that when once solved, it will contact an alien ship. It's a beacon for an other world, and I fear that the Borg from Star Trek will come because they've already got the same exact ship that looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, you're selling me on this. Anything with aliens, I'm down. I mean, this that sounds really good. I was honestly thinking this would go the line of like they're gonna try to make a Rubik's Cube like into an animation movie, kind of like a wannabe Pixar film. That's where I'm going with it. That and so, I mean, what you're saying, I will sign up for both of those films.
I'd still stick with the treasure hunt thing because you know me, I need more treasure hunt movies in my life. We'll talk about a
Sure.
certain treasure hunting movie that's coming out later this year, National Treasure. I don't know why, but to me, I see Rubik's Cube. I'm just like, yeah, it's a fun puzzle for kids and bored adults. But all it struck me is maybe it could hold some secrets that you unlock it. Like, if you make it a circle, like a circular version of a Rubik's Cube, it reminds me of the puzzle from Treasure Planet that Jim Hawkins unlocks to reveal the map of Treasure Planet. Maybe it's something like that. Of the Rubik's Cube is just the thing that starts the story, and the story isn't entirely based off of it. That's at least what I would do. Because you're going to get at least some butts in the seats the opening weekend out of curiosity going, they doing a Rubik's Cube movie? Okay. But maybe if you really can think outside the box. Now, there's some names out there that'd be like, it's directed by David F. Sandberg. I don't care. I'm there opening weekend. They're like, there's some names that you can attach to this. Like for you, Rubik's Cube or just Rubik's by Aaron Sorkin. Michael will be there opening weekend. Doesn't even matter what it's about.
Amen.
Like, there are ways to make this work. I know people are just crapping on this going, this is the dumbest idea Hollywood's ever come up with. And I'm going, guys, you do realize we have a Peeps movie in production, right? Like the marshmallow candy. That's getting a movie too. That's a far stupider idea than Rubik's Cube. There are stupider ideas out there. It's just going to take a lot to convince some people, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a lot more a positive, maybe even a little more objective than I am. I will again. I'll echo what I said earlier. I will sign up for your pitches. I think maybe you have missed your calling, good friend, that you should go into the marketing business and maybe you should be on some of those meetings and for those board of directors and board of investors calls. That's just my opinion because you've sold me on two ideas where I will still maintain my skepticism and rightfully so. I mean, there's a reason, like you mentioned, this got roasted on the internet as it, in a way, you're inviting it, but in this society, people like to troll, and why not take advantage of it? Own the lunacy of it, and then also just blow people's expectations. And maybe that's a way of doing it. What you've just described. Certainly not as creative as I am because clearly I'm so creative I couldn't think of anything more than just one idea that is so boring. So I'm glad that you're leading this, and if there's any a point in time where personally I'm looking for some hope on a project, I know who to at least ask there, and Nathan, if I'm being completely honest.
And this is why I love Superman, and we need a Man of Steel 2. I'll pitch it for you guys. So what you're saying, Michael, in conclusion, is in regards to how to pitch this movie, this Rubik's Cube movie, would you say I've solved it?
Oh man, that's just that's painful. Not yet, but I'll have to give you credit for it. That was a really really good effort.